Blog Talk Radio.
Get ready, America, and all across the globe. It's time now for Nothing But the Truth. And here's your host, Greg Jones.
Welcome all. Welcome to another edition of Obama Talk Radio and much more. I'm Greg Jones, National Director of BlackSportBarack.org, a multiracial net grassroots organization dedicated to nothing but the truth. Happy New Year to you all. We are coming to you live once again on this Sunday evening, January 4th, from the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Remember, throughout the show, you can always join in on the conversation or share whatever is on your mind by picking up the phone and giving us a call at 646-595-2182. That's 646-595-2182. And today, in our first show of the new year, we will be covering a number of topics. This has been an incredibly busy week in our world. We'll talk about Israel's invasion of Gaza. We'll also talk some truths about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We'll talk about who is really in our media and a whole lot more. But first, we must say we are so happy that we're only 16 days away from the end of the George W. Bush regime, the day when the keys to the country will be passed over to President Barack Obama. And we are so pleased, so thankful, so fired up that it is only 16 days away. Sometimes as I watch the news, I wonder, what can Bush do in 16 days? And I'm afraid the answer is a lot, but we will just stay hopeful and thankful that it is only 16 days away. And yes, these are extremely exciting times for our governmental process. The inauguration, which, as you know, takes place January 20th, will be an inauguration like no other in the history of our land. And the Obamas have, in fact, left Chicago to come to Washington, D.C., their new home for the next 4 and hopefully 8 years. This is a very, very major weekend for the Obama family, as they did, in fact, pack everything up. Michelle Obama and the girls actually left their Chicago home on yesterday, Saturday, and President Obama, just within the last hour, landed in Washington, D.C., and he looked really, really great and presidential. As many of you know, the girls Sasha, and Malia start school tomorrow. And so it was very important to Michelle and Barack Obama that they be in Washington, D.C., so that the girls could start school on Monday, January 5th. They had requested, as some of you already know, they had requested to move into the Blair House, which is a house that is directly across the street from the White House, a house which is used traditionally as the residence for incoming presidents and their family. And the fact is, when the Obamas asked the Bushes if they could move into the Blair House a bit early, normally the incoming president starts living in the Blair House around the 15th. But when the Obamas asked the Bushes if they could move into the Blair House a bit earlier so that their girls could go to school, the Bushes said no, that there were some kind of fancy dinners planned to be held in the Blair House, which, let's just face it, was a bunch of garbage. Whatever was scheduled, if anything was scheduled, and by the way, many investigative reporters have been trying to figure out exactly what events are in fact, scheduled to be held in the Blair House, of which none of the investigative reporters can come up with any specific event or events that are scheduled to take place. And if there are even these gatherings that are scheduled to be held in the Blair House, it would not have been a major ordeal to have those events moved to another location so that the Obamas could, in fact, move in to the Blair House 10 days earlier. But to solve the problem, the Obamas decided to temporarily move into the Hay Adams hotel in the presidential suite. And as I mentioned, Michelle and the girls did arrive and move in to the temporary dwelling on yesterday. President Obama arrived today on Sunday. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful sight to see the Obamas coming to their new home. Now, as we mentioned, we're coming to you live on this 4th of January, 2009, a brand new year. And it was just 1 year ago on yesterday, January 3rd, was a very historic day in the presidential campaign. Can you think of what took place 1 year ago yesterday? Okay, some of you got it. Yes, exactly 1 year ago yesterday on January 3rd, 2008, that was the day that Barack Obama won the state of Ohio. I'm sorry, the state of Iowa. We're coming to you from Ohio, and I have Ohio on my brain. January 3rd, 2008 was the day that Barack Obama won the Iowan caucus. It was an incredible day, an incredible